Hello. We left off last time talking about Perseus and the fact that he lithified Andromeda's uncle and the armed men that he brought to the palace to try to get Andromeda back from Perseus. Our story continues with Perseus and Andromeda heading back to bring Medusa, well, really her head, to Polydectes. Now, when they arrive on the island, they find Danae, remember Danae is Perseus' mom, and Dictys, the fisherman who's kind of Polydectes' adopted dad. They find them trapped in a temple because this was the only place where they could escape Polydectes, the only place where they could find safety, or what we might call asylum. And a lot of times people, when they hear the word asylum, they think in terms of a place where you would put people with mental problems or emotional difficulties, and its root really goes back to safety. And so the asylum, as you might think of it, like Arkham Asylum or things like that, really has to do with keeping people in the facility safe and outside of the facility safe. In this case, it was just that was where they went because it was the only place he would leave them alone. Perseus gets it now, right? He finally dawns on him, wait a minute, Polydectes was just trying to get rid of me. He was just tricking me. And so he goes to Polydectes, and he's got the head of Medusa. And he finds the king with his nobles. He says, "Looky what I have," pulls out Medusa's head and lithifies them. And I guess, as it concerns the wedding gift for Polydectes, in the end, you could say that he saved face. Sorry, couldn't resist that one. And here is a painting. I kind of like this painting just in the sense of, there's Perseus and there's the head of Medusa, and you see these guys all in various stages. Like that guy's pretty much stone. And this guy's upper body is stone, but you notice down here he's kind of stone there, but still looks to be flesh here. And same thing with this guy, right? He's kind of stone up there, but the rest of him is flesh. Kind of an interesting picture, I think, depicting that whole scene of lithification. Now, as for the head of Medusa, went on to some fame as a stunt double in some low-budget horror movies. I'm just kidding. Actually, the head was given to Athena, who put it on her shield. Now, as far as our guy Perseus, he still has an unresolved issue. And what is that unresolved issue? Right, his grandfather. And what do you expect him to do? And I think that's a question I might put onto the stream of the Google chat. But even if you're just listening to this, it's something to think about. What do you think that he will do? And students come up with a lot of answers, usually involving revenge and things like that. But I'm going to tell you, I think most people, in the end, bottom line, what they really want is reconciliation. And that's what he wants. He wants to reconcile with his grandfather. But unfortunately, when his grandfather finds out that Perseus is back around, he leaves. And Perseus is disappointed, but he goes on with his life. And one day he finds out, Perseus does, that there's going to be an Olympics. And he says, gosh, I'd like to enter this. I'm a pretty good discus thrower. And so I'm going to enter the discus competition, which he does. And unfortunately, his throw of the discus goes a little bit wild, flies into the crowd, where it hits and kills a man. And if you've been paying any attention whatsoever in mythology, you probably figured out already the man that it hits and kills is his grandfather. And so the very fate that his grandfather was trying to avoid, unfortunately caught up with him. And this concludes the notes that we're going to do on Perseus. And hopefully you've enjoyed going through them as much as I have. Thanks. Goodbye.